Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a brand new show of FitFusion. Now, we will be talking about all kinds of fitness and diet plans. And the reason we think this is important is because we have a pandemic on our hands with regards to obesity, high cholesterol, diabetes, all kind of metabolic disorders. And I'll explain to you during the program what metabolic disorders are and how it is prevalent in our community especially. Now, we seem to follow America in a lot of trends, and one thing that is estimated that a little over 42% of American adults have obesity, while about 30.7% are overweight. So overall, it is a disaster, and UK is always in line when it comes to, like I said, anything that's trends, whether it's diet, whether it's exercises. So we want to look into the good side and how to turn this around that will benefit our community and everybody in general. And with myself, I've got today Olariu, and he is a fitness trainer. Welcome to the show, Raz.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Now, Raz, you've been in this fitness training for a long time now.
More than 10 years now.
More than 10 years. So you've got a lot of experience. Yes. So a lot of people come to you with problems, whether it's a problem from the, maybe an illness or something. Let me just give you a scenario that if somebody was to go to the doctors and the doctor tells him, well, you need to lose weight, right? And you need to sort of include exercise in a daily sort of basis or a weekly basis, and also you need to deal with your diet, and that person comes to you, what do you tell him?
So first, I want to make him understand that this is not something he needs to do just now because the doctor told him. Yeah. It's something that he should be implementing for himself, for his health, for his future self, right? Because, if you eat healthy, if you have a healthy lifestyle, it's like an investment, for your future self. You're going to be having more energy, you'll be happier, and you're going to be living like a happy life full of,
That's how it should be in a normal circumstance, but unfortunately, most people, they have like a wake-up call, and it's usually when something is wrong with them, right? So they'll go to the doctors and they have just diagnosed them with high cholesterol, for example. Yeah. Okay, or maybe diabetes type 2, or maybe even fatty liver, okay? And then they say, like I said, you need to lose weight now, because that's one of the most important things or common thing that a doctor normally tells somebody, that you need to lose weight. And also, what is your diet lifestyle? What do you eat every day, right? And obviously...
That has a massive impact, right?
Exercise is always there.
Because at the end of the day, most of the metabolic diseases that our population is suffering from, it boils down to their diet,
If you just first of all explain what a metabolic disorder or disease, or even a syndrome, because you can call it, it's all semantics, different names for the same thing, right? What would you say to our viewers?
The most prevalent, it's diabetes, type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And because the sugar content in our foods nowadays, it's, skyrocketed. You can find it in pretty much everything, in soups, in ready meals, everything that you will eat from the shop. And if it's processed, the chances are that they have some added sugar. Yeah. And, if you're having a couple of meals a day and then you're just stacking up the amount of sugar you're having, and fast forward a couple of years, then, your glycemia is through the roof, and you are basically going to be suffering from type 2 diabetes.
Because all these food, what you just mentioned, processed food, and there's also ultra-processed food, right? Which is very high in the glycemic index. Yeah. And they tend to take you into a position called insulin resistance, right? Yeah. So just to explain to the viewers, how do they avoid that?
Well, you have to understand that the food industry, it's not there to feed us. It's there for the profit, right? So what we have to do, we have to go back to Mother Nature. You know, what Mother Nature gave us to eat, you know, when it's not processed, when it's not touched by man, it's not made in a factory, then that's probably much better for you. So that will be packed with nutrients, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, coenzymes, exactly what our body needs. So in most cases, another thing which say aids in people getting sick is basically when you're having food which doesn't have any nutrients. Then the body, what's going to do? In order for the body to process that food, it needs to take those nutrients and those enzymes and coenzymes from somewhere. So if you're having constantly this type of food, day in, day out, you end up depleting your body. And then it's when, you know, illness comes. Because another cool thing about our body is it has an amazing ability to regenerate. Every single day, cells will die and cells will be born. So that's how the body regenerates, right? But if you deplete your body and the body doesn't have the raw materials to build those cells to be healthy cells, you might have, you know, cells where are deficient. You might have cells where, you know, mutations happen, and then you have a weak body, you know, and from there everything just goes down the hill, and then, you know, you end up being sick. So going back to eating what Mother Nature gave us, you know, that's where it's at. The more food you're having, which is not processed, not touched by the man, the more likely you are going to get the right nutrition, you know.
Okay, so going back to my question, when somebody comes to you, you would say that we need to change your diet first, or we need to look at what you have been eating all this time for you to be in this position, right?
Exactly. So I'm doing like a full assessment, you know, of their bodies, of their diet, their lifestyle, because it's whatever would work for you, it might not work for the other person, right? So everyone has to have their individual thing done for them. And after doing this assessment, I can basically write down a plan like which would suit them in terms of, you know, their lifestyle, in terms of their training, in terms of their diet, because everything has to change. You cannot expect that, you know, you will just change your diet and then miraculously you'll be, you know, losing weight. There is a way you can do that, because if you put your body in a caloric deficit, you will lose weight, but then you might lose muscle, right? Especially in some cases where people will go in a caloric deficit and that caloric deficit is too high, and then they end up starving themselves, and then they lose muscle, and then will cause other problems in the future, right? So I like to approach the person with like basically like a holistic approach. So we need to change everything in such a way that you're going to become, you know, a healthier, better person, more energetic, and basically to be able to enjoy your life without any illnesses and stuff like that.
So the important thing to understand here is that when somebody faces such a problem with, you know, maybe diabetes or any of the illnesses that I mentioned, high cholesterol, somebody's obese. So the first thing, which is very important, is to change their diet lifestyle, right? So stop eating processed food. Something that comes in a packet which has got dates in it. These are the things you mentioned. The reason being is most of the nutritional values are taken out, right? So is that because they want the food, is it because it gives it a better shelf life? Why, I would ask you the question, why does the food industry take out the nutritional goods out of it, like fiber, like enzymes? Why would they do that?
I mean, they don't do it per se. They just, it's lost during the process, right? Or like the things that they are completely lacking these kind of essential nutrients. Or they add the sugar because sugar is kind of, it is addictive, you know?
Yes.
And if you add this sugar to the foods, then the people will be like more likely to have that food again and again and again. And obviously that makes profit for these companies. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna repeat myself, but most, you know, food companies, they're there for the profit. They are not there for, you know, people's health. There will be some companies which, they will provide you with the right foods and with the right nutrients. But most of the time, the biggest companies, they don't do, any of that. And then we end up with an unhealthy population,
Yep.
And it's a big burden on the medical system.
And then you got the pharmaceutical industry as well. Sometimes I think they work hand in hand. The food industry is there to make you ill, and then the pharmaceutical industry is there to give you the medication. Because you see, in between those two, you have the doctors that don't really give you a plan, or they don't really advise you. They might tell you that you need to change your diet, but they don't really tell you exactly what to do they? Exactly. And this is where you guys come in.
Exactly. It's very limited, right? Unfortunately, a lot of the times they will be more inclined to prescribe you, let's say, medication. Yeah. If you have cholesterol, if you have high blood pressure, then the first thing they will do, they will prescribe you medication in order to tackle, that problem. Yeah. But in the long run, that might not necessarily help you to heal your body completely. Okay. But with every medication, you get the side effects as well, right?
So just to be on the right track here, firstly, you need to look at your diet. Okay, you need to get rid of all the, if I could say, rubbish that you've been putting inside your body, right? And to get rid of that, you need to replace it with good nutrition.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So give me a few examples, because the program is to benefit people. So give me a few examples of somebody, and we know that everybody's body is different, right? And you can probably mention that later on. So give me a few examples of what to replace with what.
So I'd like to start with saying that if someone makes the decision to change their life for the better, it's not a good idea to say, okay, from this moment, everything that you enjoyed, you can't have it. Right. Because it's counterproductive, right? So maybe you'll be able to do that for 1 day, for 2 days, for a week, but then you're gonna revert back, you're gonna relapse, and you're gonna have the same foods because it's just so ingrained in your body. So it has to be small steps, small changes, so the body can adjust, the person can try to understand that it's for the better, and then once that happens, you're also gonna create a healthy habit. And once you create a healthy habit, it's going to be more like inclined to reach for those foods rather than the other foods. So small steps teach the person how to choose the right foods. When they go to this supermarket, you have so many options. Which one you take? You don't know, right? So first, I would teach my clients how to choose the right foods. And after that, they have to understand that, yes, you are a human being. You should also enjoy the foods that you like. But the problem is when you're enjoying it too much on a daily basis, right? So if you like pizza, if you like chocolate, there's no problem if you have it, once, twice a week, go out with your friends and family, enjoy. But the problem is when you're having it every single day, because
it doesn't become a balanced diet then, does it? Because you're putting most of the bad stuff in your body and a little bit of the good stuff sometimes, or maybe none of the good stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people who are addicted to pizza.
So coming back to your question, which type of changes you should do? So for example, if we are speaking about the carbohydrates, so if you can replace sugary drinks, you can replace it with fruit juices at first. Fruit juices, they still have a lot of sugar, but it's a better choice, right? Or vegetable juices, and that can be a good change. For example, in terms of fats, you can start having from the too much saturated fat. You can have some omega-3s, which you can find in fish. You can find in other foods. And for the protein as well, try to, if you are eating meat, try to have a lean cut from the animal rather than a fatty one, and that will help you to get the nutrients that you want, the macros that you want, but from a healthy source.
Okay. So someone with high cholesterol, you would say to obviously replace the sugary drinks, okay, or anything with sugar. Because of the high sort of, is it fructose or glucose content, and then Also omega-3, okay? So omega-3, give me a few examples of where we would find omega-3.
So in salmon, you can find omega-3.
So fatty fish, if you like,
Yes,
is it?
yes,
Good
fatty fish, but
oily fish.
yeah, but
Yeah.
most likely in salmon you'll find like the highest amounts. There are some seeds as well, like you can find.
Like pumpkin seeds and stuff like that, is it? Or
They have some, but like in a lower amount. There is a seed, but the name doesn't come at the moment.
yeah. Okay.
Flaxseed.
Flaxseed, yes.
Flaxseed.
You can get that in
that's the name.
powder form as well.
That's the name I was looking
Okay,
for.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So flaxseed, most of the time is better if you ground. It's like ground flaxseed, because that way you can access the omega-3.
Okay.
So that way, we have option for meat eaters and also for the vegans / vegetarians.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about omega-3, which is in oily fish, flaxseed, and also nuts. Good nuts like
like
cashew nuts.
walnuts, cashews. Yeah.
But nuts we're not supposed to have too many. Is that right? Because they high in calories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything which is high in fat is pretty high in calories as well. Like because 1 gram of fat has 9 calories.
Okay.
Whereas 1 gram of protein or 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories.
Okay. All right. And what about the protein contents? You would recommend lean meat for that?
Yes, lean meat, or it can be like a lean dairy product, like low-fat dairy product. Okay. It can be also can get it from beans, from lentils, from what is it called?
Beans, lentils,
beans, lentils,
legumes, all kinds of legumes.
legumes.
And nuts. Nuts have some proteins.
They have some
right?
protein as well,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we looked at the oily fish contents of that, and then we talked about omega-3. That's oily fish, flaxseed, nuts, and then proteins from chicken, fish, and lentils. So if they start eating this kind of food and replace it with sort of replace their rice, maybe pasta, potato, all these starchy food and all that, you think they're on the right path?
They can still have it, but in a lower quantity.
In a lower quantity.
Because if you're having like a pile of rice, is going to be detrimental for your glycemic index in your blood. Okay. So as they say, sometimes the quantity of the food you're having, if you're having like a small meal, then you're not gonna have a lot of calories. Right. But if you have like a huge meal, then the calories will go through the roof. So you'll basically overeat. Yeah. And what's the body going to do with the extra calories? It's just gonna store it as fat. Right. Store it on the liver, then you get the fatty liver disease.
Fatty liver is something that is very, very common, right? Yeah. Especially, I think 30% of the population, the world's population, they sort of have to go through this. And also it's because of a lot of it is because of high processed food, isn't it?
Most of the time with fatty liver disease, how it happens is basically when you're eating carbohydrates, it's stored in the form of glucose in the liver. Yeah. So, but there's only this amount which you can, a certain amount which you can store in the liver. And after that, then it just kind of goes around the liver, right? Yeah. So this is what happens. And then the more you're having, then the more...
That can turn into a detrimental stage as well if you don't look after yourself straight away, isn't it?
Yeah, you can cause scarring on the liver.
Yeah, that's called cirrhosis,
right?
And
then you get into cirrhosis and,
it's worse situations.
The liver has a great ability to regenerate, so you can pretty much, there have been some situations where a person lost half of their liver and he was able to regenerate. So it's one of the strongest organs which can regenerate, but at the same time, if you push it to the edge, that's it. It's not going to be possible to.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Raz. Okay. Well, just for the viewers, I hope that explained the first stage of what you need to do. So as Raz was mentioning, that you don't want to lose weight, very, very drastically, because that could also have a negative effect on your body. Doctors normally recommend sort of a 3-4 months and a 8 to 10% of weight loss. Is that correct? Or am I wrong? I don't want to give the wrong information.
I haven't heard about this information.
Okay.
But yes, it's not a good idea to lose weight very quick.
Yeah.
It should be done in a gradual manner, because otherwise you're just going to burn yourself out. You're not going to be able to sustain it, and ultimately you're going to go back to the whole habits.
Okay, well, thank you, Raz. Now, yeah, so you have to take everything gradually. So everything, if you want to change your lifestyle, don't go into it straight away. Take it step by step, because otherwise you'll come out of it straight away as well. So, everything needs time for adjustment, just like anything else. Your body needs time for adjustment, because remember, you have been used to eating such a type of food for a long time, and then to get out of it straight away. And we do, we're enslaved to habits, basically. So everything that you have been doing all this time, you've been used to it so much, it's become like an addiction. So tips I would give you, and the information from Raz that I've got is replace sugary drinks with, fruit juices in the beginning. But fruit juices are always good if you have the bits in it, the fruit juice, the whole fruit juice, rather than just the juice itself, and leave all the fibers. And also,
If I can intervene,
yeah,
that fiber is actually going to prevent your blood sugar from spiking.
Yeah.
It will still spike but not as much. So that's why fiber is very important in our
So I'm
diet.
right to say the fruit juice with the good bits of the fruit, like an orange juice, for example, have the the zest of the orange juice, or the bits of the orange juice there. Okay, and also omega-3, which is really, really important, and we don't get enough of that, unfortunately. So where you will find it is in fatty fish or oily fish, like salmon, what Raz just mentioned, also sardines, mackerel, and you can do your own research in that. But basically replace bad fats with good fats, and which you will get in you'll get in the form of omega-3, which is in seeds as well, and many other things. So that's the other thing. And then if you do have protein, which is very important, we do need a lot of protein for muscle building and energy as well. So go for lean meat, lean fish, and those kind of things, rather than processed protein. Is there such a thing as processed protein? Or protein is mostly in animal goods, is it? Or you mentioned something like legumes before, like lentils and stuff like that.
Yeah. Legumes, animal products, processed. It can be in the form of like protein powders, which is totally different topic. But it's something which can be incorporated.
We'll talk about that in another episode, probably protein powder, because we'll talk about how to engage in exercise, but we don't have enough time. So just for the viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you benefited from this. And watch the next show, which we'll be talking about the next level of after when you get your diet intact, how to engage in good exercise, maybe walking, running, and stuff like that. So until the next show, Assalamu alaikum.